Have you ever pondered the notion of perfect timing, how it has become a ubiquitous part of our lives? We often hear people talking about waiting for the perfect moment to launch their business, to express their feelings, or to make significant changes in their lives. This concept, though seemingly innocent, has deep roots in our culture and has given rise to a phenomenon we call the perfect timing syndrome. This syndrome is a persistent state of dissatisfaction, where individuals are constantly on the hunt for that elusive perfect moment. It's a chase often fueled by the flawless lives we see on social media, creating an unattainable standard of perfection. The syndrome isn't merely about timing, it's more about the quest for a flawless moment, a picture-perfect slice of life that more often than not exists only in our heads. This seemingly harmless concept of perfect timing can have far-reaching implications, leading to what we now call the perfect timing syndrome. The pursuit of perfect timing can have unexpected consequences. In the game of life, chasing the illusion of the perfect moment can be a slippery slope. This quest, heavily influenced by the glossy, curated images of social media, can lead to a state of constant dissatisfaction. You see, when we're always on the lookout for that perfect timing, we're essentially setting ourselves up for a cycle of stress and anxiety. We become trapped in a paradox of always waiting, yet never truly being satisfied. Moreover, this syndrome can create an unhealthy obsession, overshadowing the simple, everyday joys that make life worth living. It's like being on a treadmill, running towards an unreachable horizon, the finish line always just out of grasp. This constant yearning for perfection can also lead to a relentless pressure to perform, to keep up, to not miss out. It's an exhausting race, and more often than not, the only one we're racing against is ourselves. The quest for the perfect moment, influenced by social media, can lead to a state of constant dissatisfaction and stress. Social networks play a significant role in the propagation of perfect timing syndrome. These platforms are saturated with idealized snapshots of life, which are meticulously curated to give the illusion of perfection. This creates a distorted view of reality, where everyone else seems to be living a flawless life, while we struggle with our own imperfections and challenges. This relentless pursuit of perfection, heavily influenced by social media, can lead to a constant state of dissatisfaction. The illusion of perfection on social media feeds can heighten the pressure to live up to unrealistic standards, causing us to postpone our happiness until we reach that elusive, perfect moment. Moreover, the continuous exposure to these seemingly perfect moments can generate a persistent need to replicate them in our own lives. This can lead to an unhealthy obsession with perfection, further fueling the syndrome. The constant bombardment of seemingly perfect moments on social media feeds can exacerbate the effects of perfect timing syndrome. The impact of perfect timing syndrome on mental health cannot be underestimated. This syndrome, fueled by the relentless pursuit of perfection, often leads to increased anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. It's like being stuck on a hamster wheel, always chasing an elusive ideal that keeps moving just out of reach. Individuals affected by this syndrome often find themselves constantly comparing their lives to the carefully curated, seemingly perfect lives they see on social media. This constant comparison can cause feelings of inadequacy and dissatisfaction, creating a negative mental health spiral that's hard to break free from. Furthermore, the syndrome can lead to a distorted self-perception, as individuals begin to link their happiness and self-worth to these external, often unrealistic standards of perfection. This neglect of crucial internal aspects of well-being can exacerbate feelings of anxiety and depression. A continuous comparison with idealized lives on social media can lead to serious mental health issues. Remember, what you see online is often just a highlight reel, not the full story. Perfect timing syndrome can create a disconnection with reality. It's as if you're living in a parallel universe, one where everything is picture perfect, just like the images you scroll through on your social media feeds. But the truth is, life isn't a series of perfectly captured moments. It's messy, it's unpredictable, it's raw. This syndrome can distort your perception of reality, making you feel like your everyday life is inadequate. You might start to believe that the grass is always greener on the other side, that everyone else's life is better than your own. The dissatisfaction sets in, casting a shadow over your once content life. You see, it's easy to lose oneself in the illusion of perfection that social media presents. But it's crucial to remember that these are just highlights, not the whole story. The gap between reality and the idealized images on social media can lead to a sense of disconnection and discontent. The good news is there are ways to combat perfect timing syndrome. It starts with awareness and self-assessment. We need to recognize the role social media plays in our lives, how it shapes our expectations, desires, and perceptions. An honest look at our personal goals and values can help us understand where we stand. Next, we need to set realistic expectations. The truth is, perfection is a myth. The idealized lives we see on social media do not represent the full spectrum of reality. It's essential to understand that our lives can be fulfilling and meaningful without being picture perfect. Taking regular breaks from social media is another effective strategy. This allows us to disconnect from the constant stream of carefully curated images and focus on our own reality. It gives us the space to appreciate our lives for what they are, not what they could be. Focusing on our internal well-being is crucial. We must value tranquility, self-love, joy, and inner peace over external factors. By doing so, we build a solid emotional foundation that can withstand external pressures. Practicing mindfulness and gratitude can help us stay grounded in the present and appreciate the positive aspects of our everyday lives. These practices foster a balanced mindset that isn't constantly seeking the next perfect moment. Setting realistic goals is another important step. Striving for achievable objectives reduces the pressure to meet impractical standards. Celebrating even small victories and understanding that progress is more valuable than perfection can promote a healthier perspective on life. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of psychological support. Whether it's from friends, family, or professionals, sharing your experiences and concerns can provide valuable insights and the support you need to handle perfect timing syndrome. By being aware, setting realistic expectations, and focusing on our internal well-being, we can combat the effects of perfect timing syndrome.